FPV drone footage has blown up over the past year or two, and if you're not really sure what that is, here are some samples from DJI's new drone. I love speculations, and there have been a ton of speculations and leaks for this new drone that's going to be released on March 2nd. So no more faffing. You'll learn about the specs like video quality, controls, and everything that's going to make this drone revolutionize FPV drone footage. And this is all alleged, since DJI haven't confirmed any of these speculations, rumors, or leaks. So just take it with a pinch of salt. Item 1 is video quality, and I pulled all of this information from various different sources, and I'll link them all below. We're looking at a 142 degrees field of view, and when you compare that to something like the GoPro Hero 7, which is what most FPV pilots use because of its weight and stabilization, you're looking at 134, so you're getting an extra 8 degrees field of view. We're looking at capture of 4K up to 60 frames per second and 1080 up to 120 frames per second. Goggles are expected to transmit at 2.4 GHz and 5.8 GHz, and then we're looking to record in H.264 and H.265. And H.265 is a better compressed format than H.264 and should reduce your file sizes drastically. And then we have stabilization, which previously people would use the stabilization in the Hero 7 and then use Real Steady in Premiere Pro, but now DJI have implemented Rocksteady, which should handle all of the stabilization, which would be incredible. Now, next item is controls, and if you haven't flown an FPV drone before, controlling these things is not easy. And it sounds like what DJI are trying to do is, by revolutionizing the whole market, they're looking to make their new FPV drones also appeal to beginners. Big step. So to do that, they'll be offering 3 modes. The first mode, which is said to be called normal, is pretty normal to what you would get in a normal DJI drone, except for the fact you have an attitude angle of around 25 degrees, which is where the drone tilts forward as it moves, and we're looking at a speed of about 33 miles per hour in that normal mode. Basically, that mode is going to make sure that you're not crashing anywhere as often as you will be if you're in one of the other 2 modes. And one of the other 2 modes is sport mode, which, there's no surprise here, it's basically like other sport modes, it's just going to increase everything by double. So we're looking at speeds of about 60 miles per hour too. And not necessarily an attitude angle of 50 degrees, because that would be madness. And then finally, nice, you're going to have manual mode, which is going to give you full control over the drone. That's going to bring you into the typical FPV style drone footage, but if you don't have any practice beforehand, you will crash. 100% you will crash. So I highly recommend that you get yourself into a simulator now, like a flight simulator on your PC, and get practicing. Because while you can get so much out of this mode, you will also crash too many times. However, leaks have said that to get into this full manual mode, you'll have to go through some kind of like manual or training which will show up in the goggles. I don't know anything about that just yet, but that will be quite interesting to see what that holds. We're also looking at a weight of about 800 grams and speeds of 90 miles per hour. Unreal. One other interesting thing is, notice how on this control, the throttle, so that up and down here is going to be the throttle, is not spring loaded, and that's so that you can adjust the throttle as you need to, but the other are spring loaded, like nice nipples. Anyway, it's said that the DJI controller will be spring loaded on the throttle, so we'll see what kind of difference that makes, but again, more leaks have said that would be super easy to disable. Now, something you have to love about DJI is the safety features in prohibiting you from crashing, even though I've still managed to make it happen so many times. So some of those safety features will be included, which will drastically reduce the likelihood of you crashing. Now, first is what's being called Mayday, which I love that name for it. It's basically a panic button for when you think you're about to get into trouble. So whether you are about to crash, you think you're about to lose control, it's like a get out of jail free card. Tap that button, you're good to go. When I say good to go, it's going to bring your drone to a hover, apparently. In addition, we're also expected to have things like return to home, low battery signal, and forward and downward obstacle detection. The obstacle is the obstacle to me getting the obstacle detection. Wow. Now the weird thing is that all of that is expected to be monitored and controlled through the goggles. I'm kind of picking up between the pieces here. I'm not sure if that means that, you know, you'll see it all in the goggles, but if you'll have buttons around the goggles to control all those things, or if they'll all still be on the remote. No one knows yet. Now, this next item is so cool. It's a motion controller. So typically, your remotes are huge, super bulky, super big, just annoying. And you have to use two hands to control, and really it's just not as intuitive as it could be. So think about if you're a helicopter pilot, right? Because we've all been in that position. You're having one joystick between your legs. Can't be doing that on YouTube, can I? So what if your controller was just a single joystick? I mean, since you've got so many different movements, forward, backward, roll, tilt, yaw, all of those different ones, having just a single controller to be able to control it would be so good. From the images, we're looking at having a trigger on the back as well. Oh, it's gonna be so good, but it is expected that that will sell separately. So we'll see. And people across all these different sources have been saying that you would expect to use this like a Wii controller. I'm okay with that. But you know what's even cooler than that? So these batteries are about $25 each, and they last somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes on a normal FPV drone. DJI's batteries are looking at 20 minutes of flight time. Don't know the price on them yet. But 20 minutes of flight time, these batteries put out so much energy in such a short space of time. I don't know how they're managing to do that. Now, thankfully my wife doesn't watch these videos, and I've already booked a trip out to Colorado for when this new FPV drone will come in to go and get some sweet footage, test it out, do a review, and share that all with you guys. So if you want more information on this, hopefully this channel will be the place to be. You like this format. Otherwise, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. I literally pulled all of this out just to create some aesthetic for this video and show you all the stuff that comes with building your own drone.